Welcome back, my fellow patriots, to the Save Our Republic Daily video series. Today we are marching through the 19th Amendment, which is the amendment which gave women the right to vote, or more particularly said that you could not discriminate against a woman or any person because of sex in connection with voting. The amendment, unlike some of the others that we've covered, was one that was very overdue, long in the making. There's a long historical rich history about how this came about. It began really in 1776 when some women questioned why they were not included in the social compact, why the first principle of equality did not apply to them, why this idea of unalienable rights did not apply to them, why the rule of law did not apply to them. There was very serious challenges out of the box in connection with our treatment of women as a country in 1776. And that was pointed out by some very astute women and some men in connection with how we were going to govern our society. Then eventually in 1848, there was a convention of women and men in Seneca Falls, New York, and that began what we would consider to be the origin or the birth of a real struggle and movement for giving women the right to vote, and that persisted for generations. And it was not until the adoption of the 19th Amendment and it became ratified and effective on August 26th of 1920 where there could finally be success. So this was a generational struggle. It was led by many different leaders over the course of history, the two most famous being Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Remarkable women, complete opposites in many ways, but they were able to unite together to move forward with the women's right movement. And unfortunately, both passed away before the women's rights, the suffragette amendment was finally ratified and adopted. There's a great deal about this in my book, America's Survival Guide, How to Stop America's Impending Suicide by Reclaiming Our Founding First Principles in History. There's an entire chapter dedicated to the suffragette movement and it kind of explaining its origins and how it moved forward. And we can be satisfied in one aspect that we finally did live up to our founding first principles by giving all women the right to vote in 1920. On the other hand, there's still obviously challenges and struggles in connection with treating all women equally in our society, both under the law and culturally and socially. And that's a struggle that we have been undergoing ever since we started as a nation. Hopefully, with every passing day, we can move closer to fulfilling that promise of the Declaration of Independence that all people are created equal and that everyone should have the same rights and responsibilities regardless of their sex. And I will note that one of the most famous documents in this struggle was the Seneca Falls Resolution of Sentiment and Resolutions in 1848, and it basically mimicked the Declaration of Independence. It took the structure, the phraseology, and then talked about all men and women are created equal and had a long list of grievances about how mankind had oppressed womankind. Very interesting document, well worth reading. Again, referred to and actually quoted extensively in my book. Until tomorrow, don't forget about, again, America's Survival Guide, Patriot Week at patriotweek.org, and the Patriot Lessons American History and Civics podcast. God bless you, and God bless America.